What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful.com, FightfulMMA.com. Scoot on over there. Make your predictions for UFC Fight Night Norfolk. We're going to help you out a little bit here with some betting lines. We do our pick'ems every week over there. I assume pretty much every week that UFC's on, which is pretty much every week at this point. But it closes right around the main card. But let's go ahead and give you some betting odds and the like. Now, I will not be here Saturday night to do a post show, as I will be in Chicago for AEW's Revolution. Early on the show, Luis Pena is a minus 300 favorite against the plus 250 Steve Garcia. You have Ismail Nairdev, a minus 130, as Sean Brady is a plus 110 underdog. You have Elon Cruz, minus 185. Against the plus 160 Spike Carlisle. Luis Pena, minus 185. Alex Munoz, a plus 160. TJ Brown, a plus 115 as he takes on the favorite. Minus 135, Jordan Griffin. So you have some early fights on these prelims here that are not going to set anybody on fire. I think the Nardaev-Sean Brady fight is very underrated. I do have Nardaev winning that. As far as Cruz, Carlisle, Brown, Griffin, and the like go, I could do without those fights. Whatever. I'm not exactly throwing down big money on those, but you do have a couple of fights that are at least very close. Now, this was the card as of this week, being I think Monday. You have Elon Cruz, minus 120, Steven Peterson, a minus 110. That should actually be a very good fight. Then Marcin Tybura, a minus 105. Against Sergey Spivak, a minus 115. There's a lot of times when I go and I look at these heavyweight fights and I think, you know what, maybe there's some money to be made here on a guy like Spivak, but he's favored right there after 2 UFC fights. He's favored right there with Tybura because Tybura's only won 1 of his last 5 fights. And I think the UFC, if you are the UFC, you want Spivak to win at the very least. Tybura, I mean, he's 34. Maybe he has some semblance of a run in him, but I don't think it's going to be in the UFC at this point. I just really, really don't. Brendan Allen, a plus 115 underdog against minus 135 Tom Breeze. You have Mike Davis, a minus 240 against the plus 180 Giga Chikadze. Gabriel Silva, minus 125 favorite against Kyler Phillips, who is a plus 105. Grant Dawson, a mastodonic minus 420 favorite over the plus 335 Derek Menier. There's a lot of times I see betting lines like that, and I'm like, man, I don't know about that. But Derek Menier has been pretty much a regional guy. I know he fought on Contender Series, and he lost there. It's just, man, I don't think he's put together 3 straight wins in a long time. He's coming into this fight, I believe, on short notice. I think that Chaz Skelly pulled out of this fight. I think he had to pull out of the first one, too. Or no, Dawson pulled out of the one in January, and then Skelly pulled out of this next one. I can't imagine, unless some looming issue with Dawson is going on, I imagine him to easily take this one. Then we're going on to the main card, and it's not the worst main card. I kind of dig this main card, and I'm kind of bummed that I'm going to miss it. Megan Anderson, a minus 220 against the plus 180 Norma Dumont. Now, there's a lot of unknown as it pertains to women's featherweight. I mean, what is this division, really? It's just Amanda Nunes defending, Felicia Spencer fighting, and Megan Anderson fighting. That's it. But Norma Dumont, she's only been a pro for, I want to say, 3-ish years, but she's only had 4 fights. I'm not confident that she can beat Megan Anderson. However, Felicia Spencer did it. We've seen Sandy Dandois do it years and years ago. I mean, it's not like Megan Anderson is undefeatable just because she is one of the faces of this division. And a very rare featherweight fight at that. It's tough for me to really make a pick like this because there is an element of the unknown as it relates to Norma Dumont. And then you have Zara Farn in the co-main event taking on Felicia Spencer. And Felicia Spencer does seem like somebody that could eventually get that title shot against Amanda Nunes if she keeps winning. She already beat Megan Anderson. She came up short against Chris Cyborg. But she's facing a Farron now, and she's a major, major favorite. To the point to where I would put 5 on Zara Farron just to do it, just to say, you know what, anything's possible. A plus 550 is Farron. Felicia Spencer, a minus 800. Woof, man. Those odds, I think, a little bit too out there, but Felicia Spencer looked good even against Chris Cyborg, so I do expect her to win this. Then you have Magomed Ankalaev, a minus 225 favorite against the plus 185 Ian Cutelaba. I think this is an underrated fight. I've liked Cutelaba for quite a while. I thought he would beat Teixeira. I know that he's had trouble getting into the cage. He had that USADA violation. He had an injury before the Teixeira fight last year, but he beat Roundtree in a fight that I didn't think he would win. He's won 3 of his last 4. He's still very young. He's 26 years old, so even though he missed a year, doesn't really miss. He's still got a long career ahead of him. But Ankalaev has looked really, really good. Oh, so good. At that fight in November with that front kick to finish things off, he beat Abreu via decision back in February of last year. He's won his last 3 fights. I think the odds should probably be a little bit closer than minus 225. I would maybe put 5 on Ian Cutelaba here. But I think I'm rocking with Ankalaev. The thing is, like, it's not an experience thing. Ankalaev had a long amateur career, too. I want to say 3 years, and he lost a lot of his early fights. Like, he could have just given up. But then he reeled off, like, 8 straight wins, then started his pro career with 8 straight wins. If I'm not mistaken, he won 16 straight fights across amateur and pro after he lost his first 3. When I see something like that, I see a sense of grit in a person that shows me that they're probably not going to give up easy. And I mean, his one loss as a pro was with 1 second left against Paul Craig. I think Ankalaev edges this one out. A fight that I am so excited for. Flyweight fight, and to me, this is a legit flyweight championship fight. I don't care that Henry Cejudo vacated the championship. Joseph Benavidez is a minus 150. Davison Figueiredo a plus 130. Figueiredo is very good. Now, I do think that this effectively names the second best flyweight in the world. I think Henry Cejudo is probably the 3rd best. I think Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson is the 1st. If Benavidez wins, he's probably the 2nd best. If Davison Figueiredo wins, you could make a little bit more of an argument, even though Jussier Formiga beat him last year. I think you could maybe say, oh, well, possibly him, but to me, it's Mighty Mouse Johnson without a doubt. I personally want to see Joseph Benavidez win this because I remember how dejected 7 or 6 years ago he looked. 6 years ago, Henry Cejudo, or Joseph Benavidez, lost his 2nd opportunity at the flyweight championship to Demetrius Johnson. And on that Fox post show, he was just dejected and heartbroken. I've never felt sadder about anything in MMA than what I saw there. And it's been 6 years. And in that 6 years, he's went 9-1, and he earned his title fight. He earned his shot. I thought he beat Sergio Pettis. The fight with Cejudo was close, but Cejudo will not fight people that deserve it. He would not fight Sterling. He will not fight Peter Yan. He would not fight Henry Cejudo, or he would not fight Joseph Benavidez. To me, that eliminates him from the conversation. No respect for that at all. I got respect for Joseph Benavidez, Formiga, Dustin Ortiz, Alex Perez, Makovsky, Cejudo, Pettis, Bagatina, Moraga, Tim Elliott. Anybody they put up in front of him, he would fight. And usually he beat them. Then you got Davison Figueiredo, who was a victim of that carousel too. He won 6 of his 7 fights in the UFC. And he beat guys like Jared Brooks, who came in with some hype, Moraga, Tim Elliott, Pantoja, who had some hype. If he beats Benavidez, he is a deserving champion. A guy who is not a deserving champion right now is Henry Cejudo, even though he earned that fight, or earned that title, with a win over Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson. This is to crown the legit flyweight champion in the UFC. I just do think that Demetrius Johnson is a better flyweight than whoever wins this. I just don't think Cejudo is anymore. And I don't care what he did. I don't care. The way that he's acted over the last year has eliminated that. You can say it's a gimmick. You can say it's Ali Abdelaziz, all you want. I ain't buying it. Ever since that split decision loss to Henry Cejudo, Demetrius Johnson went to Japan, won 3 fights in 2019, all at the flyweight weight division. Leave a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. Until next time, we're out.